One man wanted to win it all. The other had everything to lose. Together, their nuclear missiles brought the world to the edge of annihilation.
Because American superiority was too big. America at that time has 159 ICBM and about 2,500 strategic bombers that could attack Soviet Union. Soviet Union had only 24 ICBM. So we will add 50 missiles in Cuba. The Cuba became to the Soviet Union the same as the West Berlin to the United States. Useless small piece of land very deep inside hostile territory. But if you will not protect the small piece of land, you will lose your face. Your allies will not trust you. So we have to do it. So Khrushchev decided to send missiles there at the diplomatic signal. Don't invade Cuba.
Reconnaissance plane is on a special mission authorized by President Kennedy. In the cockpit, Richard Heiser.
I knew it was an important mission because I had two generals, Air Force generals out there to brief me on the missions.
The target, Cuba.
Picture. Show me a picture.
A suspicion based on reports that Soviet nuclear weapons might be based on Cuba, with missiles aimed at the United States. The photo analysts work overtime. There's 3 miles of film, thousands of photographs to be developed and evaluated. They're searching for a needle in a haystack, looking for tiny clues visible only with a microscope.
On October 22, 1962, President John F. Kennedy broadcast a special message to the nation from his office in the White House. Here is President Kennedy as he delivered that message bearing on recent events in Cuba.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup on the island of Cuba. Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island. The purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere. Acting therefore in the defense of our own security and of the entire Western Hemisphere, and under the authority entrusted to me by the Constitution, as endorsed by the resolution of the Congress, I have directed that the following initial steps be taken immediately. To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated.
U.S. pilot Gary Powers was shot down over the Soviet Union. It marked a Cold War turning point. His U-2 spy plane was on a mission to film Soviet military bases when the aircraft was hit by a surface-to-air missile.
The Americans would agree to voluntarily dismantle Jupiter missiles in Turkey after the crisis abated, as long as this concession was kept utterly secret from the public. The ball was now in Khrushchev's court. If he accepted the compromise offer, both nations could claim victory, but if he rejected it, war would soon follow. On October 28, Khrushchev announced through Radio Moscow that he had given the order to pull the missiles out of Cuba. The crisis was finally over.